I'm thinking, like Chief Stoke Officer.
Ooh, there you go.
I kind of like that one.
Yeah.
I don't know, Nikki, what would you make?
Like fun police. I mean,
No, Fun Police. That's
no, I meant that in a positive way. That didn't come, the opposite
Fun
of a fun
enforcer?
police. Yeah.
Yeah, Fun Police sounds like, you're policing
Hey,
the
there's
fun.
something wrong with being a policeman.
Yeah.
Welcome back, listeners, to another episode of Go Be Wyoming. I'm your host, Aaron Gray, and I've got Zach Gale joining me today. And now we're up on the mountains here in the Bighorns, and we are joined with the Executive Director, John Kirlin, and Development Coordinator, is that right? Nikki, and how do you say your last name?
Ulog. I think of it like a U-lock.
Okay.
It's okay, though. I don't expect people to say it right. Over it.
They've got us set up in the Shred and Butter Shack, which I think is awesome.
Yes.
And the snow is coming down. This is kind of the soft opening for Antelope Butte. And guys, thanks for letting us come by and steal you for a couple minutes. And then we'll all go enjoy the runs a little bit.
Awesome. Thanks for having us. This is going to be fun.
Yeah. So a little bit about Antelope Butte. Antelope Butte is a recreational area up here. Just opened for the second year now.
So this is our second full opening with all three lifts. This is our third operating season. Our first one was the season of 2018-2019, and we operated just for every weekend except for closing weekend. We offered just our park lift and then our carpet lift. And so we only had about 10% of the mountain open the entire time. Then on our closing weekend, we finally had our summit lift refurbished past the testing, and we were able to have a grand closing in 2019. And we opened the summit lift for the first time to public since 2004. And then, last year we were able to open up 90% of the mountain with some of the trails. We did a lot of work over the summer to clear up some of the trails and overgrowth that had happened, and get all three lifts running and turning like a Swiss watch.
That's awesome.
Rocking and rolling.
Yep. Yeah. No, we got up here just a little bit after 9, and the crew was already looked like getting ready, and there were already people here getting dressed up, ready to go. So the community loves it. I was just telling Nikki and John that I think my parents took me up here when I was super little, so that would have been like 15 years ago.
Oh,
and
man.
I haven't been up since, so it's really kind of like nostalgic of like it's back open and we can come back do this stuff. So
I'm trying to imagine you as super little.
Mini.
I was tiny and I was not very athletic. So like when my parents took me to ski, like I hated it. I was like,
oh man,
I was like, I'm done. And then of course the Antelope ski, it wasn't open. And so when I was growing up, it's like we didn't ever go back. And so now it's like I'm coming back to see if I'm any more athletic or not.
Yeah.
There's hope.
Yes. We'll see. We'll find out. So how long have you guys been with Antelope Butte? Because it is a nonprofit, so there was a couple years of getting the community back together of like, let's try and open this thing back up.
Correct. So I've been with the organization now. I started in October of 2017. So I've just hit my third year with the organization, and the foundation started in 2011 officially on paper. And so since then we've been just growing, doing a lot of the due diligence needed to, form a nonprofit foundation and organization, then a lot of fundraising and planning to see what it looks like to acquire the ski area in itself. In 2011, just because the foundation was formed didn't mean that, we have the ski area. We had to fundraise to buy the assets from the Forest Service. And so we didn't actually get those assets until 2016. And so the foundation had two executive directors prior to me. They were kind of part-time, then moved into a full-time position in March of 2015. But
even then it was just one staff member.
Yeah. It was just one staff member and a volunteer board, and then a bunch of volunteers and community members just really putting this thing together with blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah, and because it was, isn't it White's? Is that he was one?
Yeah,
Mark
White's was one of our founding directors.
Josh Law was also one of the
And I remember running into him and like, hey, when's the Antelope Butte going to be open? They're kind of like, Well, there's a lot needs to be done. So.
Yeah.
We're glad that you guys are in your second full operating, year.
Yep.
What do you guys offer? Because for some people, they might not know, following you guys on social media, even though this is the soft opening today, and then next week will be an opening. You guys have already had some groups, some other maybe nonprofit groups come through. Kind of speak on that a little bit.
Yeah. So, we try to do as much as we can, but try to not do too much. That's for sure. This winter, we got a bunch of programs. We got our signature first chair program for never ever skiers, and it's a 5-week program. It's really just like an amazing thing, and it's been cool to see other people in the community. Has talked to like a board of realtors, and they're sponsoring 10 kids to go do it. Like, they're signing 10 kids up and paying for it. And so just seeing other organizations take part. We also have like second chair, which is for kids that already have a little bit of experience. We have our introduction to snow sports PE program. All of these things are generally starting like next week, with the school stuff starting in January, but we have good relationships with like the outdoor clubs, like the Sheridan High School Outdoor Club, Tongue River High School Outdoor Club. Last Friday, we took a group of kids from the Tongue River High School Outdoor Club fat biking, and it was just like an absolute blast. Like, they would not get off the bikes.
That's awesome.
Like, they didn't get off them. They were like pulling them away, saying, "We gotta leave. The bus has gotta leave. Someone has piano lessons." But just, it's been really cool to see so many different organizations, and even from last year to this year. Last year we did a lot with TRVCC, and this year we're gonna continue to do stuff with them on Friday. But then on Saturday we're doing stuff with Kids Life. We're doing stuff with the YMCA. On Monday we're doing stuff with Wildflower School. Just building more partnerships and getting more people involved because they want to take advantage of this magical place.
Wonderful. Zach, do you have any questions?
No, that's great. Growing up, I didn't ski much because, this wasn't really offered. The first time I went skiing was probably in high school, and we went to up above Buffalo there.
Yeah, over at Meadowlark, yeah.
But definitely, I think having this here, we would have definitely done it. My dad grew up going skiing up here, and so I'm sure if this was available, we'd have been up here every weekend, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. That's, it was a bummer from all the stories I've heard. That's kind of the biggest thing that my takeaway when I started the position is all the lives it truly affected when the place closed down. And they're just the stories from people that grew up here, even from growing up, and some of the original founders back from the 60s when Antelope Butte first moved up here. And so it really kind of shocked the community that where do we go now? And so since then, you have a whole generation of kids that can now drive cars that never had the opportunity. Mm-hmm. And so bringing it back, it's been super great to see the support that the community's been for this. Like, like I said, we're here at a soft opening and our parking lot's filling up.
Yep. And probably going to as the day goes on.
Yeah.
And even just think about the number of people that want to get involved. Today is also a really big day for us because we're doing some snow sports training. So we have snowboard instructors and ski instructors that we're training today, just as kind of like a prep class to get certified. And I think today we have like 30 instructors getting trained. So like just seeing that growth even from last year when we had 21 instructors by the end of the season certified. And here we are we're not even open yet, and we got 30 out there today on the slopes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that's the biggest thing. And it goes kind of back to our mission, which is to provide affordable and accessible year-round mountain recreation, training, and educational opportunities with a focus on youth and beginners. And so that big piece is that, that education and that training with that focus on those youth and beginners. That was the reason when we opened the first season, we just had the carpet lift and the park lift. We made that decision. We thought, well, do we wait until we have the summit lift? Because a lot of people, they're not going to go up there and just make 200 laps on the park lift. I was like, well, our mission is those youth and beginners. Mm-hmm. So let's open and get them. And we've got to build this new culture from ground up, from the kids that are never evers, because that's the majority of our user group right now are those never evers. So for this thing to really take off and become a sustainable operation, we got to build that culture from ground zero. And so building our snow sports program and getting those instructors, getting everybody on the same page. We brought in the Professionals Ski Instructors Association, which is PSIA, as well as the American Association of Snowboard Instructors. They're the industry standard. And so using them as our base, because then the language and the terminology is the same. Right. Everybody's speaking the same thing. And then you might have one might have a couple other tips or things that kind of a little bit more personalized.
Yep.
But getting, a consistent product and service to the community so everybody can truly enjoy it.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I do, I had a question and I lost it. Shoot.
Oh, I also just kind of wanted to add, like obviously, like, lessons and programs are like a big part, but also just like the people that want to come up here and enjoy it is also like a big part of
Absolutely.
our user group.
Right.
And it's cool that we're able to educate those that want lessons and want programs, as well as educate those that want to teach those lessons and programs.
Right. Mm-hmm. Kind of pass it along.
Yeah. Teach the teachers.
Yeah. Yeah, that's wonderful. Well, it'd be without saying it's 2020, so we got to ask you guys how this year has been different from other years. But it's kind of weird because you guys were you guys able to finish out your season last year, or what kind of walk us through the year?
Yeah, last year it was just kind of, as the pandemic really kind of started hitting the nation, we started living kind of week to week, to day by day, to like hour by hour, what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And so we ended up closing a few weeks, we had 11 more scheduled operating days. And so we ended up shutting down. All the other areas in the region were doing the same thing because it was just an unknown.
Right.
It was the responsible thing to do at the time.
Yep.
So we shut down. We had a good season already. We exceeded our forecasted numbers. So we had a good season.
Wonderful.
And so we weren't just like panicked on how are we going to get through. But still lost 11 days of operating revenue.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that was a hurt there. But we were able to then go into the spring and the summer and start rethinking events. The governor's orders for our large events, for outdoor events, the capacity was cut down to 250 people, which was about a third of what our normal summer events attendance was.
Right.
But none of the expenses would go away, but a third of we would be, 2/3 of the revenue went away, and we can't do that.
Right.
We'd be operating in the red the entire summer, and that just, for a nonprofit, that's just not feasible at all. And so
literally overnight made a new plan. Governor's order on right before June 1st, and then June 1st we sent out our newsletter with our entire new summer event schedule, going from a couple big events to 4 smaller events, just to keep things low key and still provide something for people to enjoy outside.
Yeah. So we were able to basically take the budget that we had due for 2 larger events, streamline, cut some things out that were just kind of more amenity based and stuff, and then ran 4 smaller events with venue capacities.
Right.
And they ended up being our most successful summer of all time. So it was actually a good change. Yeah. And so that's 2020 has been a struggle for some people, but it's actually been a great year for us.
Yeah.
Because it's allowed us to really refine some of our processes and really look at better ways to operate.
Yeah.
And then so coming off of a great summer, our fundraising is starting to ramp back up.
And don't get us wrong, back in the spring, every organization was just given to COVID. We didn't really stand a chance to get any of the money we needed for the lodge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. So a lot of the big, capital philanthropy out there just stopped.
Right.
And because it was all going to COVID relief and to help, nonprofits how are they going to stay afloat? But like I said, we've did better than our forecasted numbers. So we had a cushion there. So we were able to operate sustainably.
Yeah.
And so we weren't applying for big relief funds for specifically for, like to keep people on payroll. But then, the market kind of changed. So capital philanthropy is kind of coming back. And so we've now built some really good momentum. But with COVID, there's also delays in contractors and materials. And then with the uncertainty of what indoor operations was going to look like, we haven't been in the lodge yet. So let's just not try and rush it
during a
pandemic and see, let's just hold off. But we're actually offering more than we were able to offer last year. We've added a larger event tent that we're going to have some heaters in, and for some outdoor space. People have already been tailgating up here, so we're encouraging that more.
People are
Yeah.
People are loving the heated restrooms. I've heard like 5 comments today of like, oh, that's amazing. I can wash my hands.
So yeah, because we're not in the lodge, I don't have running water in there. I don't have those amenities. So we've been on porta potties the last 2 seasons,
Sure.
but relying on people to bring up their own sanitizing wipes and things like that. Now in a pandemic, it's like we can't just rely on that.
Right.
So what could we do? And we actually had a walk-in cooler that's been sitting here and some leftover insulation and building materials from the lodge. So let's just build a temporary structure. We can now put our porta potties in there, but I can run heat to it and hand washing stations. And it's just been great. And to see, I'm watching people already go in and out and they're just loving it. Yeah. And it's like, that's great. We have a third more space than we were able to offer last year. We're actually operating our tickets more efficiently out of its own location instead of out of our rental shop. So our lines in the morning, our congestion that was down at the rental shop is going away.
Right.
So that's a bonus. We've got heated toilets. I mean, come on. We're actually operating well. And, ticket sales and revenue from season passes, they're up 50% than where they were last year.
Yeah.
So 2020 has been great.
Yeah.
And it's been a great opportunity for us to kind of build our community of supporters. Even we were just looking at some numbers the other day and it's in the last 6 months, we got 109 new donors and we're having this many more season pass sales. People are investing in us and believe in us and trust us with, completing our mission and just growing a good support base.
Yeah. One thing I was going to mention, you guys were talking about the summer and a lot of things I'm hearing from successful businesses from this year is adapting.
Yes.
Everyone's in the same situation. So you got to look at how you guys are and adapt and change. And, but it is wonderful to hear that a nonprofit in the area is seeing, the support from the community, and you guys are, like you said, having a really good year, which is, I think that speaks to people wanting to come do the classes and, the community members. But also you mentioned, change. Sometimes, you might look at maybe this was a good thing that we had to come up with these ideas because for, whatever reason, sometimes.
Well, I feel like even since being formed, all Antelope Butte has done is adapt to change and be flexible and go with the flow and just, take it as it comes and make the right decision on the spot. And
yeah. I mean, things are going to happen that are going to be unforeseeable.
Yep.
That if you just get stuck in a rut and you go, well, we can't do it anymore, then you're going to be stuck and you're going to be hurting. But
it's all
adaptability,
be okay.
it's that. Yeah, just don't take the stress home. I try and tell myself that every single day. But things are going to be okay. And being able to adapt. It's it's like surfing. If you try and ride the wave after you've read the break, you're not going to make it up. But if you read the wave and get ahead of it, now you're going to get up. Yep. I learned that the hard way my first time trying to surf. I grew up skateboarding and snowboarding and thought, I'm going to walk right onto this. No, terrible, terrible. And you gotta learn how to see the wave coming before you actually try and get on it.
There's
Otherwise,
probably
you're
a
too
ski
late.
analogy too out there. Some ski analogy.
Yeah, I mean, it's you anticipate, you look for the bumps ahead of you, and you anticipate those things, and you plan ahead, and you attack them. Taking the ski analogy, attack him. Don't sit in the back seat. That's how you blow up your knees. Get forward and attack it, because you're going to engage so much more of your strengths. And coming your background with fitness and things, I get to engage those quads and all those stabilizer muscles if I drop those knees and get forward. Yep. If I'm sitting back, everything's going back on my tendons, and I'm going to blow up.
Yep. That was great. No, that doesn't just go for skiing or the sports. I think that goes for anyone in business, anyone running an organization. I think if you're stagnant and just like, we can't do something that we used to do, it's like, well, you got to change. Like, everyone's sitting in the same situation. So that goes for anyone out there. Like, you got to learn that you got to fail a couple times, and you got to look at it like, well, what did I do wrong there? I got to adapt and like John said, attack it. I love it. Well, let's talk about that. I heard you a couple days ago. Last year, you got to miss the season, or you didn't. I wouldn't say got to.
Yeah, I was so stoked to miss the season. It was great.
You had an injury, and you're coming back to that. So have you taken a couple runs already?
Yeah. So I'm now on my kind of third day, where I've been back since last season, early season, November 5th. I did exactly that. I blew up. I tore my ACL, small tear in my meniscus, and boom, season's done.
Yep.
And it was one of those things that I could go, well, how am I going to do everything? Because I was so used to being a one-man show for a couple of years and just kind of doing everything, but that I had to adapt and force myself. I was like, well, here's the part that I gotta get good at, the desk, and build a team and build some staff that are willing to take on some roles and let them do it. And it's been great, because now we have, like we said, we have 30 snow sports instructors out here, when before that I was the one.
Yep.
And so it's been great to see that. But yeah, I took some runs yesterday, checking some of the grooming. Oh, and it felt so good.
Yeah.
It felt so good. And I had to think of my first run I did up here before we got to some of the grooming. We had some drifting and things, and I did exactly what I was thinking about. I was cautious, and I was kind of like, oh, how does this feel? I'm wearing a brace on it just to be safe. I don't want to just go gung-ho and blow up again. But I get my skis on some drifts or some sections, and the initial reaction is backseat, lean back, get timid and try and slow down and do that. But then as soon as I did that, I felt that pressure on that knee and my joints and go, oh. And I've never really noticed that until then, how important it was to get a forward and truly engage those big muscle groups.
Sure.
And so I was like, okay, I gotta work on this. I'm not going to do it until I've got some good grooming up here, and we get there. I went last weekend to Big Sky for instructor training and did kind of same thing. I stuck to the greens and some of the blues, and just really thought about that position. And okay, let's not go too hard. Yep. I didn't do all my sessions. I just I'm not going to do 8 hours of skiing for 4 straight days. No, let's not get there. But things are feeling good. And my first run yesterday down Sue's Moose, I was able to just do the whole run top to bottom. Usually first time I do that, like halfway through, the quads are just burning. You're oh God. Nope. And so I'm looking forward to it.
Zach, jump on that. I think Sue's Moose, they're asking about the runs and naming the runs.
Yeah. Well, so we rented our skis from Adventure Sports downtown.
Yeah.
And they've got a big poster of the runs that you guys got.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to ask you about that, just how much work went into that and planning, were those, my impression was that there weren't that many runs before. So were you guys making runs or just kind of?
We didn't create any new runs. Okay. And so, Nikki, you can.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about the physical runs, but I can talk about the fundraising of it a bit. When I kind of started, there was already like a trail map, and it was like, okay, these are the runs we got, and some are like little runs, and some go all the way down the mountain, and there's just like a whole array of levels and difficulty and how long they are and where they're located. And so the idea was like, well, like, let's give people an opportunity to leave their mark on the mountain and contribute. And it was cool to see so many people contributing that, like, it's those people that were here 20 years ago and their families used to come up all the time. And it's like a very meaningful place for them and they want to be a part of it. So we have 28 runs. 2 of those are connectors. And we have 4 left to be named. And it's been cool to see the stories and connect with some of these donors. Like, I know, like Sandy Suzer, she named a run after like an old country western song. And then some have been named after loved ones that passed away that were heavily involved, whether they were on ski patrol up here or just a big part of their family. Some have been some of the folks that have cabins up here. Just some cool stories and history. And I mean, we're excited. We got these signs with people's trail names on them, and we're going to put them up this winter and people be able to ski down their run. And
wonderful.
Being a part of the mountain.
Yeah, just kind of a way to leave a lasting legacy as we grow it. You know, the funds, they've been used for the capital project, but what a great way to see it. And what we started seeing was more like some of these families or groups coming together collectively to sponsor a run, and a lot of them being some of these memorials, like Sue's Moose, for example, is after Susan Scott.
Yep.
And then
Papa's Paradise for Andy Smith, Heaven's Door for the Door family is a family of 3 brothers, and it was for their parents.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's
so
awesome.
It's cool to see.
Yeah.
And again, a lot of these for the stories from the community that for so long were a part of it, and they were up here all the time. And so now they're at a place where they want to kind of give back to the community to leave that lasting legacy because of the memories that they had up here.
Right. Yeah.
We also have people that have done similar things with the lodge. We have lodge legacies as well, so people can name the bar or the fireplace or the dining room or ski patrol, just having these people that are involved in these different parts and feel a part of our community and are choosing to partner with us is pretty cool.
Yeah. And how could kind of more get to the end here, Zach? How can people reach out to you guys? How is that conversation started? As if a family does want to know what the options are?
Yeah. So I mean, even anything from like an email or a phone call to just kind of talk about like, okay, what's available? What are you looking for? Like, what are your interests? And it's cool to talk to some of these people, and they call our office a bunch. We have an office phone number in Sheridan. We also, John and I both love emails.
Yeah, we get a lot, and it's kind of funny. We're a small but mighty staff. Nikki and I manage most of everything, and from the office in Sheridan, we've got some mountain folks that are up here. Lou, who runs things throughout year round, maintenance and stuff.
Sure.
But it's not like we've got 20 people and a receptionist and things. So
There's 4.
Yeah, we got 4 full timers really, and up here there's maybe a phone that you can get to, and maybe emails that you can get to.
But the best way truly is calling the office phone number. We get messages. Every message we listen to, we'll call you back if we're not there. I mean, that's the other hard part is like we don't have someone that's there every day 9 to 5 because like we're going out and doing stuff, and we're going out and meeting with people. Or we're here too.
I literally just put a kind of a vacation responder, autoresponder on my email now that we're in operating season, just to say I'm on the mountain or I'm running around. Sorry, I'm not responding within the hour. Yep. I'll get to it when I can. But it's kind of fun.
And people are pretty understanding. Yeah. Oh, they know for sure. And they're just appreciative that, we do take the time to get back to them and talk to them, and we want to work with them. We want to get people involved. And
absolutely. Yeah,
we're happy to do it.
Yeah. Zach, do you have anything? I have kind of some funny questions left.
Go ahead.
Okay. Bloopers.
So we're kind of beginners. We going for like the big one? What's the recommendation?
Hey, me too, man.
So as a beginner, I would start off, hop on the carpet, and people, you can be an adult and get on the carpet and don't take any pride out of that because there's zero pride in a helicopter ride. So
Ooh, that rhyme. That was good.
yeah, I just thought of that. Coining
board.
that. Yeah, that's our new ski patrol motto. But hop on the carpet and fill it out. Make a couple of turns, link them together. Get yourself loosened up like you would for a workout because you're using your muscle groups and you got to be engaged. Stopping and controlling your momentum is the most important thing on the mountain. And so that's what we do with our instructors, is making sure that they know how to do that. Then get on the park lift.
But to be honest, like, do not get on the park lift if you cannot stop or turn. That's even for all of our programs. It's like, no, just wait, just keep practicing, just do it 10 more times. It's okay. There's no rush.
Yeah, and go wide because gravity isn't going to change. So go wide, and if you start picking up momentum and you think, oh man, you start getting panicked, just lean over and fall to your side.
Yeah.
Because if that's one of the next things that we teach these kiddos, if as soon as that happens, just lean over. Because that's going to be much safer and better for you than just going straight. And because there are obstacles that don't move out of your way. Trees are on the mountain and they hurt. And there's rocks.
Snow's pretty fun too, gotta say.
And if you fall over on your side, you'll slide around, but you're not getting road rash. You're not getting those things that you would on concrete and things like that. But kind of get to your own comfort level, but be in control. I mean, that's the biggest thing is you gotta know the code. And there's the skier's code, which I don't have the signs posted up yet. That's why today's soft opening. But skiing responsibly, staying in control, skiing within your own limits, being comfortable, knowing how to stop. You as a rider are responsible for the people in front of you, and because they can't see you. So if someone's going slow and turning and kind of unpredictable, you got to be okay with that unpredictable ability and going around them.
Sure.
And going around them safely. Because that's the last thing we want is for anyone to get hurt up here.
Right.
And so we want everybody to have fun.
Yeah.
And,
number one goal or number
do jumps, do things, have fun, do the rails, do the jumps, but be safe.
Yeah.
I'd also add that, like, as much as, like, sure, you can do some of those things by yourself. You can get on the carpet by yourself, and once you're ready, you can get on the park lift by yourself. But, like, as someone that moved to Wyoming a year ago, like, take a lesson. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, I took a lesson last winter, and, like, it was, like, 2 hours, and, like, just amazing. Like, you feel more comfortable. You have someone that can, like, just pinpoint what you're doing and give you advice to try something new. Like, the instructors are amazing. They're great. We got group lessons, private lessons, whatever you want. And it really does improve your skills more than you would imagine.
Right.
Yeah. And when, like, all of our team members up here are here to help with that mindset. Because again, our focus and our mission being on those youth and beginners. So if you're on the mountain and you're feeling uncomfortable and you see one of our team members in a green jacket, those are our snow sports instructors. They're wearing the green jackets and you're feeling uncomfortable, wave them down and they'll gladly give you a couple of pointers and help you out. Same thing with our orange jackets, red jackets, our ski patrol. They are here to help. And you're not, some areas they're just kind of the fun police and try and shut everything down. But no, they are glad to help. And we've had them even like when people come off the summit lift and they go, oh, this is above. And so what they kind of joke and you give them the complimentary toboggan ride to come down where they're not injured, but they're like, I can't safely come down. Nope. So they'll give you a ride down on the toboggan, but they also will, at that point, someone will give out where you should pizza instead of French fry. That's the kind of the terminology, a complimentary lesson.
Yep.
And just a brief run through, try it out because take the pride out.
Yep.
Take a lesson.
Yeah.
Because
leave your ego.
Yeah.
Yep. We don't want to get hurt, like you said. What did he say?
Yeah.
No pride on a helicopter ride.
Yeah. There's no pride in a helicopter ride.
You guys make that like a shirt.
Yeah.
I actually really like that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Little mountain with the helicopter on top. I can see shirt.
Yeah. So last two things for John. The second one we cannot talk about it because it was somebody gave this to me. But Could you sing for us? You are a musician.
What do you want?
Where's the guitar?
That's always the hardest. Sing something, and it's like, well, do you know this? Well, no. Do you know this? No. What do you want to sing? I have no idea.
What do you catch yourself maybe in your head?
Oh man,
when you're busy, or Zach, do you have anything? Maybe a request?
I don't know. What kind of music do you like?
I go from musicals to country. I primarily, when I go out and play professionally, I'm doing kind of bar standards and country tunes to rock and roll, my own stuff.
A riff of your own stuff.
A riff of my
3, 2,
own
1, go.
stuff. Oh my gosh.
Putting you on the spot.
I don't know. I've got musicals stuck in my head. I don't know why. I've got like the Sound of Music going on right now.
What? Anything but
alive with the sound of music.
That's our life.
Yeah, I just kind of I'll just whistle those little things when I'm driving around.
That's
and
awesome.
It's I don't know.
That's perfect. I think that was Karen Moxie actually told me to get you.
Of course she did. Yeah.
Then last thing, someone told me, if you are having adult beverages and you get over to a point, there is a particular character that comes out.
Oh,
there's
a name. It's
because it's not very PC.
I mean, everybody's got that point, and your nicknames, and I know who told you this. Mine,
Karen, definitely Karen.
Karen, or one of the LeDukes.
Yes.
And so we kind of have these nicknames. Mine is Johnny Tin Beers. It was given to me by Fred Cerna, and
so good.
Yeah, when I
Everyone
kind of
has
first
those.
moved. Yeah,
Everyone has those.
because it's when I was playing professionally all the time, and I play with some of these musicians, and it's like, oh yeah, I keep things pretty legit till about 10 beers. Then it's like, okay, he's gonna stand on the bar. If he becomes Johnny 10 Beers, he's dancing on the bar with his boots on. So yeah, that was kind of the thing. We've got Callie, hers is Wyatt Derp. We get a little derpy sometimes, and my wife is a little salty.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of fun.
Perfect. I didn't know if you wanted to say that or not.
It's fine.
Nikki, how about you? Do you have a name? Do you know? You're the driver.
Hopefully not yet.
She's got to earn her stripes.
There we go.
Working on it.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, just to finish out, guys, what's kind of a message to any of the listeners? This is the soft opening. Maybe mention when the grand opening is, where people can buy lids.
Yeah. So, next Friday, December 18th, is our opening day, and we're going to be open every single day till January 4th.
Okay.
Except Christmas. And so come up during winter break. I mean, I feel like a lot of people might not be traveling as much as usual and just looking for something to do. Like, come up. We got lesson signups online for almost every single one of those days. You can take a snowboard lesson or a ski lesson. We got a couple camps, like camps for First Chair, for Never Evers, as well as we have like a Little Bear Ski Club camp, which I promise is not just for little kids. Don't sign up your 5-year-old, please. 7 and up. A lot of people think it's for toddlers. I'm like, no.
We're not there yet for the youngers.
Yeah, just come up. I mean, December 18th, that's the day. And then the rest of the season, we're going to be open Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, which is big this year. So if you are closed Monday, if you can take off work on a Monday, man, it's going to be great. Imagine about a big snow on Sunday night, and it's not going to be super crowded on a Monday because most people have to work.
Right.
Take advantage of it.
Yeah, and just a reminder, Zach and I drove up this morning. It's only a good, depending how fast you're driving.
Yeah.
Like an hour.
45 to an hour.
Yeah, I mean,
bad,
I drove the 14-passenger bus with it fully loaded today on icy roads, and it took us an hour 32.
Yep. Perfect. So it's not very far from Sheridan, so come check it out.
Yeah.
Zach, do you have anything to end out there?
Just a reminder, you guys offer rentals, and
we got rentals. We also have fat bike rentals this year, which is super awesome. But we have a lot more information on our website than we did before. So check it out. You can sign up for programs and lessons. You can check out rental prices. You can check out ticket prices. You can buy season passes, punch cards, literally lots and lots of things, as well as our contact information.
Awesome.
And that is antelopebutefoundation.org.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, thanks, John. Thanks, Nikki.
Thanks so much.
We'll get on that carpet ride.
Awesome. Thanks for
sounds
having us. Cheers.
Bye.
Thanks.